Hello, fellow history buffs and seekers of the strange. It's great to have you here with us today. I'm your host, Explorer Hamo from World Stories, and welcome to World Stories, where we explore the most intriguing historical stories. In each episode, we uncover the secrets, myths, and facts that have shaped our world. Today, we're diving headfirst into a story shrouded in darkness, whispered in hushed tones, and forever immortalized in popular culture. The story of Dracula. This tale has intrigued and terrified generations, but how much do we really know about the man behind the legend? But before we begin, let me assure you, this isn't your typical vampire flick. We're not just talking about fangs and capes here. We're peeling back the layers of myth to reveal the historical truths that are often more chilling than fiction. No, we're going deeper, unearthing the man behind the myth, the historical figure whose life was far more terrifying and perhaps even more intriguing than any fictional monster. Vlad the Impaler, a name that sends shivers down the spine, was a real person whose actions have echoed through the centuries. Prepare to journey back in time to 15th century Wallachia, a land steeped in folklore and shadowed by the imposing Carpathian mountains. This region, with its rugged terrain and mysterious atmosphere, was the perfect backdrop for the life of a man who would become a legend. Here, amidst political turmoil and bloody conflict, lived a prince whose name would become synonymous with cruelty and terror. Vlad III, better known as Vlad the Impaler. His reign was marked by a relentless struggle for power, and his methods were as brutal as they were effective. Or as the world would come to know him, Dracula. Join us as we explore the life, the legend, and the legacy of one of history's most infamous figures. From his rise to power to the gruesome tales that surround his name, we'll uncover the truth behind the myth and discover why Vlad the Impaler continues to captivate our imaginations to this day. Section 2. The Legend and the Man. Now, before you picture a caped figure with fangs and a Transylvanian accent, let's set the record straight. The real story is far more complex and intriguing than the fictional tales. Vlad the Impaler, while a real historical figure, was no blood-sucking fiend. He was a man shaped by the harsh realities of his time. He was a product of his time, a ruthless ruler in a brutal age, and his story is as much about political intrigue and medieval warfare as it is about the macabre. His reign was marked by a relentless struggle for power and survival. Born in 1431, Vlad III inherited a land torn apart by internal strife and threatened by the ever-expanding Ottoman Empire. His early years were spent in a volatile environment, learning the art of war and governance. His father, Vlad II, known as Vlad Draco, meaning Vlad the Dragon, had earned a fearsome reputation himself, being a member of the Order of the Dragon, a chivalric order dedicated to fighting the Ottoman Turks. But it was the son who would truly embrace the family business of brutality. Vlad the Impaler's methods were extreme, even by the standards of his time. His preferred method of punishment, impalement, was designed to instill fear and maintain control over his enemies and subjects alike. His reign was a constant battle to defend his territory from external threats and internal dissent. The legend of Dracula, inspired by Vlad's fearsome reputation, has overshadowed the real man, whose life was a complex tapestry of loyalty, betrayal, and survival. Understanding Vlad the Impaler requires us to look beyond the myths and legends, to see the man who navigated a treacherous world with ruthless determination. His legacy is a testament to the brutal and unforgiving nature of medieval politics and warfare. Section 3. Subscribe, or he'll visit you tonight. But before we uncover the full extent of Vlad's ruthlessness, I'd be remiss not to invite you, our intrepid viewers, to subscribe to World Stories. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and leave a comment below with your thoughts, theories, and maybe even a garlic emoji or two. And while you're at it, why not share this video with your friends? After all, wouldn't it be a shame if they were left out when Vlad inevitably rises from his grave to demand more views? Section 4. The Shadow of the Carpathians. Vlad's Wallachia was a land on the edge, a buffer state between Christian Europe and the Islamic Ottoman Empire. Caught in this geopolitical tug-of-war, Vlad's early life was marked by instability and violence. He and his brother Radu were even sent as hostages to the Ottoman court, a common practice at the time to ensure the loyalty of vassal states. While Radu adapted to life in the Ottoman court, even converting to Islam, Vlad seethed with resentment. This period of captivity would forge his character, hardening his resolve and instilling in him a deep hatred for the Ottomans, a hatred that would fuel his bloody reign. Section 5. A Prince of Blood and Iron. In 1448, after his father and older brother were assassinated, Vlad seized the Wallachian throne for the first time. However, his reign was short-lived. Deposed within months by rival factions, Vlad spent the next several years in exile, plotting his return and honing his skills in the art of war. Finally, in 1456, with the support of Hungarian forces, Vlad reclaimed his birthright. But this time, he was determined to rule with an iron fist and secure his grip on power, no matter the cost. His methods, brutality, terror, and an almost artistic mastery of impalement, a form of execution that would become his gruesome calling card. Section 6. Vlad's Ruthless Reign. Vlad's reign was one of contradictions. He was a complex figure, embodying both the devout and the despotic. He was known for his piety and even commissioned the construction of monasteries. These acts of devotion earned him respect among the Orthodox faithful. Yet he was also a ruthless tyrant who brooked no opposition. His iron-fisted rule was marked by extreme measures to maintain control. He saw enemies everywhere, boyars who challenged his authority and sought to undermine his rule. Saxon merchants who controlled trade routes often found themselves at odds with Vlad's policies. And of course, the ever-present threat of the Ottoman Turks loomed large, forcing Vlad to constantly defend his territory. To consolidate his power and instill fear in his enemies, Vlad unleashed a reign of terror. His methods were brutal and unyielding. Impalement, a particularly gruesome form of execution, became his preferred method of dealing with his opponents. This horrific practice was designed to send a clear message. Thousands met their end on sharpened stakes, their agonizing deaths serving as a stark deterrent. Their bodies left to rot in the sun as a grim warning to any who dared defy his rule. This macabre display was meant to instill fear and ensure absolute obedience. Section 7. Impaler, yes. Vampire, not so much. Now about those vampire rumors. While Vlad's bloodthirsty reputation certainly contributed to the legend, there's no historical evidence whatsoever to suggest he indulged in any sort of vampiric activities. No draining the blood of his victims, no aversion to sunlight, no shape-shifting into bats. Sorry to disappoint any vampire enthusiasts out there, but the truth, as they say, is often far more grounded in reality. Vlad's cruelty, while shocking by today's standards, was not entirely uncommon for the time. Medieval Europe was a brutal place, and rulers often resorted to extreme measures to maintain order and consolidate power. Section 8. The Birth of a Monster in Literature. So how did Vlad the Impaler, a 15th century Wallachian prince, become Dracula, the world's most famous vampire? The answer lies in the realm of literature and the power of imagination. In 1897, Irish author Bram Stoker published his now iconic novel, Dracula. While Stoker drew inspiration from various sources, including folklore and accounts of Vlad the Impaler's cruelty, he took significant creative liberties in crafting his fictional vampire. Stoker's Dracula, with his fangs, cape, and Transylvanian castle, became the archetype for the modern vampire, forever cementing the link between Vlad the Impaler and the world of the undead. Section 9. Dracula's Enduring Legacy. Vlad the Impaler's story is a complex and often contradictory one. He was a ruthless tyrant, but also a skilled military leader who fought to defend his homeland from Ottoman encroachment. He was a devout Christian, yet his cruelty earned him a place in history as a monster. Today, Vlad's legacy remains a subject of debate in Romania. Some view him as a national hero, a defender of Christianity against the Ottoman threat. Others see him as a brutal dictator whose crimes should not be glorified. Section 10. Thank you for joining our journey, and there you have it, the real story of Dracula. A tale of ambition, betrayal, brutality, and the enduring power of myth. I hope you found this journey through history as fascinating as I did. Remember, the world is full of incredible stories just waiting to be uncovered. Stay curious, stay connected. Don't forget to subscribe to World Stories for more captivating tales from history's darkest corners. Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring, and remember, sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction.